I worked 70 hours a week for 3 years. Every single cent went into the foundation fund. That's what we called it, our future house, our dream. Or so I thought. I'm a technician. I work with heavy machinery, 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week, sometimes 7. My hands are permanently stained with industrial grease. My back aches every morning before I even get out of bed. But I didn't mind. I had a goal. My wife, Sarah, was the accountant of our home. She's organized, precise. She handles the spreadsheets. She tracks every gallon of gas and every grocery bill. At least that's what I believed for 5 years. Her brother Kyle is a professional leech. He's 24 and has never held a job for more than 3 months. He has vision, he says. He's an entrepreneur, which is just a fancy word for someone who loses their parents' money on crypto and failed startups. Last Tuesday, Kyle pulled into our driveway. I was sitting on the porch trying to get the feeling back into my legs after a double shift. I heard him before I saw him, that deep, aggressive rumble of a performance engine. He was driving a brand new 2025 Ford Raptor, black, chrome accents, high-clearance suspension. It looked like it belonged in a showroom, not our gravel driveway. Kyle hopped out. He was wearing expensive designer sunglasses. He looked at me and grinned. "Living the dream, bro," he said. He patted the hood of the truck like he had actually earned it. I looked at the price tag in my head. That's an $80,000 vehicle, easily. I looked at Sarah. She was standing in the doorway. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't happy to see her brother's success. She turned white, ghostly white. She looked like she wanted the ground to open up and swallow her whole. That's when the first seed of doubt planted itself in my gut. My money didn't just disappear. It grew wheels and a 450 horsepower engine. We met in college. I was the guy who fixed laptops and cracked screens to pay rent. She was the one who kept me grounded. We married young. We had nothing. But we had a plan, 5 years of grinding, 1 year of looking, then the house. We lived in a cramped studio apartment. No AC in the summer, no heat in the winter. We ate generic noodles and canned beans. I didn't buy a single video game for 2 years. Not one, no new clothes, no vacations, just work, work, and more work. Sarah showed me the spreadsheets every Sunday night, beautiful green cells. They showed our progress, $50,000, $55,000, $60,000, our down payment. Ready for the bank. I trusted her with my life. I trusted her with my future. When Kyle revved that engine, I didn't scream. I didn't make a scene. I'm a pragmatic man. I went inside. I went straight to the desk. I opened my laptop. I didn't go to her spreadsheets. I went to the source, the bank login. It took me 3 tries. She had changed the password. My heart was a hammer in my chest. Each beat felt like a physical blow. I used the recovery email. I got in. I looked at the foundation fund account. The balance was $742. $700, 3 years of 70-hour weeks. Gone. I felt a coldness spread through my veins. It wasn't anger yet. It was pure mechanical realization. I started scrolling through the history. I needed to see where it went. Transfers. Every Friday, 2,000 here, 5,000 there, all of them to a company called K-Tech Solutions, Kyle's shell company for his investments. It started a year ago, small amounts at first, $500 to cover rent. Then it got greedy. Sarah walked into the room. She was shaking. I didn't look up from the screen. "He bought a truck, Sarah," I said. My voice was flat, no emotion, just facts. "I was going to pay it back," she whispered. Her voice was thin, brittle. "Kyle said the crypto was a sure thing. He promised to double it. I wanted to surprise you with a mansion, not just a house." I finally looked at her. I didn't see my wife. I didn't see the woman I shared a bed with for 5 years. I saw a thief, a co-conspirator. "He's driving our kitchen, Sarah," I said. "He's driving our master bedroom. He's driving my 30-year-old knees and my broken back. He's driving my life." She started crying, the ugly, messy kind of crying. She tried to touch my arm. I pulled away like she was made of acid. "He needed a win, Mike. He was so depressed. He was talking about ending it all. I couldn't say no. Family is everything, right?" Wrong. Family doesn't rob you while you sleep. I didn't stop at the house fund. I kept digging. I found a personal loan, $25,000, taken out 6 months ago. In my name, my credit score was a smoking ruin. She had forged my signature on the digital documents. She knew my social security number. She knew everything. That wasn't a mistake. That was a felony. I packed a bag, not her bag. Mine. I grabbed my tools. I grabbed my documents. I didn't want to be in that apartment for one more second. Every wall felt like it was closing in on me. I called my lawyer. Then I called the bank. I flagged every single transfer to K-Tech as unauthorized. I knew the money was probably gone, spent on chrome rims and leather seats. But I wanted a paper trail, a trail that leads straight to Kyle's front door. I moved into a cheap motel on the edge of town, the kind that smells like old cigarettes and regret. I sat on the edge of the bed and looked at my hands, still stained with grease, still tired. I realized I'm 30 years old. I have $700 in the bank and no home, but then I thought about the Raptor. Kyle thinks he's a genius. He thinks he's the main character. Sarah thinks I'll forgive her because family is everything and she was just trying to help. They are both dangerously wrong. The next morning, I went to the police station. I handed over a folder, bank statements, forged loan documents, timestamps. The detective looked at me with pity. I hate pity. "You want to press charges?" he asked. "Against your wife?" I didn't hesitate, not even for a second. "She's not my wife," I said. "She's a criminal who shares my last name." 2 days later, I got the call. Kyle was arrested at a Starbucks. He was probably trying to pitch another scam. They towed the Raptor from the parking lot. I heard he threw a tantrum when they put the cuffs on. He cried like a child. Sarah called me 100 times. I blocked her after the first 10. Then her parents started. My family. They called me heartless. They said I was destroying the family over a few dollars. A few dollars. $60,000 in cash and $25,000 in debt is not a few dollars. That's a decade of my life. I told them they could pay me back the full amount plus interest by the end of the week, or they could stop talking. They hung up. The divorce is going to be messy. She has no money. Kyle has no money. The truck will be sold at auction, but it won't cover the loans. I don't care. I want them to feel the weight of it. I want them to know that every hour I worked was a debt they can never repay. Now I'm starting over. I found a small room closer to the shop. It's quiet. Too quiet sometimes, but every morning I wake up and I don't have to check a spreadsheet to see if I'm okay. I know exactly where I stand. Some people at work say I went too far. They say blood is thicker than water. But those people never worked 70 hours a week to see their future drive away in a Ford Raptor. I'm not heartless. I'm just finished. Finished being the bank. Finished being the safety net for people who don't deserve to fall. I'm building a new foundation now. It's not made of money or dreams or investments. It's made of steel. And this time, I'm the only one with the keys. I'm 30 years old, and for the first time in my life, I'm actually free. That's how it ends. Sometimes the people closest to you are the worst kind of enemies. I want to hear your take on this. Would you have pressed charges against your own wife? Or would you have just walked away? Drop a comment below and let me know. If you want more raw stories like this, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm notice us again. Subscribe to Echoed Stories so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for your time. Stay sharp out there.